everybody. Here we are back again. It's Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. We had a pretty good weekend. Had fun yesterday because it was our anniversary, and obviously we went to the movie theater.
Yep. Saw Weapons.
As we have not been in a long time, and I really wanted to see this.
She was in there. Well, what's this movie about? Man, I can't tell you. She told me not to tell you what it's about until we get
into that because this is pretty new. It's been playing at theaters for like a month or something. I think.
Even though we don't want to do spoilers, it's a great movie. I
really liked this.
It's good. Yeah.
Well, this was written and directed by Zach Cregger, who was the same guy that did Barbarian, which I also loved, which Tom has not seen. I think I reviewed it for my other. For my Flickers of Fear series.
I'd probably like it after seeing this one.
You probably would. It's structured very similarly. So if that, it's not as... This one is kind of more complex, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it follows more characters.
Yeah, it'll follow a character's story and then go back and start again. Kind of like something out of a... Kind of like a Quentin Tarantino type...
Yeah, or like...
Movie, like fucking...
What's that one? Rashomon or whatever that one is.
He did fucking.
Well, no, but I know, but I'm talking about ones that inspired.
Okay, yeah,
Tarantino.
Stephen King would write this way every now and then. He'd cover individual characters, and then they would all kind of tie together. But it wasn't. Sometimes I don't like that. I find that annoying, but it's not a problem with this one. It's done well.
This one is not confusing at all.
Not confusing, yeah.
I can see how. I think Barbarian was more. It was from a couple different perspectives, but that was kind of more. We're following this, and then like halfway through, we're like, oh, suddenly it's a brand new character, and it took a while for it to circle back around.
Yeah, it's got good actors in it. You'll probably recognize most of them. It's got that one guy from Sicario series. He's in it.
Josh Brolin. He's in it. He's great in this. Everybody's great in this.
Yeah, he plays one of the leads. They got a guy who plays a fucking crackhead in it, homeless crackhead. He fucking knocks it out of the park.
That guy killed it.
He's really good. He's
been in a bunch of stuff. He doesn't usually look that.
Yeah.
Like a crackhead.
Yeah.
But
there's a kid. He's one of the main characters. He does a really good job. So he's a good little actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
It. Yeah, what he's going through. He's not obnoxious. It's not like a Kenny from fucking Godzilla or anything. He's credible. He's a credible character. There's a really good villain in it. We'll get to that in a bit. I didn't recognize the person, but
I knew. I was like, man, I know who that is. Yeah. And then when I went and looked her up, I recognized her because, and this was a long time ago, because a couple months back, I rewatched that Stephen King adaptation, The Dark Half, and she played the wife in that back in 1993.
All right. Okay.
So she's obviously much older now.
Yeah.
But I was like, I knew I fucking recognized her, and that I'd seen her in something else recently.
Yeah, when the movie starts, it starts off, weird shit happened already. Kids just run out of the house all at the same time, and the parents never see them again. And they all came out of one classroom. And there was only two people that aren't missing. The teacher and this little boy. And they're fucking coming after this teacher. They think she had something to do with it. Why just that class? Why all these... They got them on the damn doorbell cameras running out of the house, and they all just disappeared.
Yeah.
And cops don't know what to do. They can't arrest her. Nobody's... You can see plainly in the security footage of all these houses that the kids left running at full speed.
Yeah, no one took them or anything like that. And they all left at the exact same time.
Yeah. So the guy, what's his name? Brolin? You said his
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. He plays one of the fathers of one of the kids that's missing. They're having town meetings and everything. What happened to the kids? And he's hell bent on finding his son. It's fucking him up. He's sleeping in his son's room. The kid, cause since the kid's missing, he becomes obsessed with this teacher. He's fucking
following her.
Convinced that she did something. The teacher's seeing a cop. He doesn't really know what's going on. The cop's fooling around on his wife. That part, it's complicated, but when you see it in a movie, it all like, oh, okay. It's because it's all happening in the same town, kind of like a Stephen King book. It's all happening in one town.
Like it's in a smallish town in Pennsylvania, I think it is.
Yeah, they all know each other. It's a good movie. And he eventually figures out what happens to him, and that's kind of when the movie starts. It gets even worse once he figures out what happens to him.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's funny because I kind of saw people saying this was kind of more like a thriller, but not really because, kind of mild spoiler, there is a supernatural element to this. It's not. So, like, a thriller usually wouldn't have a supernatural element. It would just be like a serial killer or something like that, and that's not what's going on.
There is some gore in it, but it's not like, ultra gory. It's just...
I mean, there is some...
There's some. People running over cars, skulls smashed in and shit.
People being torn apart.
Yeah, people being torn apart, but it's not super graphic. It's not like torture porn or anything. I put it up there. In many ways, I'm going to rank this one up there with... Hereditary. It's a different tone.
Yeah.
But I would say like Hereditary and Midsommar, some of the newer horror movies that I like that have kind of like a folk horror element. This does have a folk horror element to it. The style is a little bit different though, in terms of what kind of folk horror we're talking about. It's good. It's not hokey in the way where you're like, oh, okay. No, it's not aliens, or anything like that.
It's pretty it's creepy. It's pretty fucking creepy. It's got some really creepy.
Yeah.
We got a couple super chats that I want. Bees Nest sent us a super chat, and Jeffy Art sent us a super chat.
Awesome.
But yeah, the cool thing about this is that, Zach Cregger, he Barbarian was his first film.
Yeah, we'll give him warnings before we do spoilers.
Yeah, he comes from a comedy background, much like Jordan Peele did. And comedy and horror are kind of two sides of the same coin. So a lot of times, comedians make good horror movies. I know it sounds weird, but it's true.
You know what? Now that you said Jordan Peele, this does kind of remind me a little bit of a Jordan Peele movie.
Slightly,
but a little more coherent, I think, in terms of like sticking to the theme. Although it depends on the Jordan Peele movie. The one Jordan Peele movie about the people living underneath the ground, I thought that was a little wild, but it was unique. Us, yeah. I liked the movie.
The Tethered. I liked that too.
Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense, rationally, but it was just a horror. It was a unique horror concept. I did like that.
Yeah.
People living underneath the ground, but that was just some weird shit. But.
Yeah, this, you said, it's kind of like, it's not exactly the same as, kind of a Jordan Peele. And interestingly, Jordan Peele, because, so Barbarian, Zach Cregger's first movie, was a huge, huge hit, both critically and with audiences, and made a whole bunch of money. So he actually wrote Weapons as a spec script. Nobody asked him to write it. He just wrote it, because actually his comedy partner died. He died young, in an accident. And, so he was kind of working through his grief about that. And he wrote this story, and it kind of started getting around, and it got there was a bidding war. Netflix, Universal, and Jordan Peele, and two other big studios were vying for it. And New Line Cinema finally got it. Jordan Peele wanted this script so bad, he wanted to produce it with Monkey Paw, his production company.
It's his style.
That he fired his manager for fucking for not getting it.
Not get it.
It's
funny how you mentioned Jordan Peele, and I was saying, it does it's kind of like a Jordan Peele movie. Man, I had no idea that he was vying for it.
Yeah, he wanted.
He would have done a good job.
He wanted this bad. He wanted to produce it. Because the same guy that wrote the script directed it also.
Yeah.
So this was a very personal project for him. And like I said, I tend to like horror that is, if you want to be snotty about it, you can say it's auteur horror, but it's it's one person's vision. This guy wrote the script and he directed it, and this is how he wanted it.
I think that's one of the reasons why I like it.
Yeah.
It's not trying to please everybody. It's doing its own fucking thing, and it does a good job. This movie's making money. It didn't cost much to make.
New Line Cinema gave total budget of $38 million, and so far it has made $250 million.
Yeah. And this is following the template me and Jen have recommended many times in the past. Mid-budget, really good story, really good writing, good acting. You know what I mean? And an interesting concept. And the movie delivers. It follows through. This movie does deliver. It doesn't leave anything hanging. Everything's resolved. It shows you what fucking happens, and it's a satisfying end. So okay, I'm right there with it. I find that amazing that I was like, that Jordan Peele was going for this because he would have done a good job. And I can see why he liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is his.
I mean, everybody
it's his
wanted
type
this.
of concept. Yeah.
Yeah. And there is comedy in it, but it's not funny. You know what I mean? Like it's got
incidental humor.
Yeah, it's like incidental humor.
Yeah.
Like in the way that people react to the situations, the way a person would react, and that kind of makes you laugh. So like it's not a comedy, but there is like some good like black humor in it, I think.
Yeah, like the crackhead. He does and says all kinds of.
Like I said,
he's out of his mind.
In the car on the way home, I said that dude fucking killed it. He was so good. Yeah. I love that guy.
And he wasn't like a comedy relief character. It was just that. That's what crackheads are.
Yeah.
Saying he delivers that. He delivers
that. It was
role.
very realistic. He delivers it was very organic.
Yeah.
And like I said, everybody in this was great. And like a lot of the characters were just so nuanced, and it was kind of cool because it's I think it's in 5 or 6 chapters, and each one is from a different character's perspective. And sometimes you're seeing the same thing happening, but from the other person's perspective. Yeah. And so it's kind of interesting how that kind of like deepens everyone's character and relationship because you're seeing things from like the opposite point of view.
And I liked that. It was kind of like some of the Stephen King books do that. What's it? Pulp Fiction. The movie Pulp Fiction does that, where you know what I mean. Some things are kind of out of order, but they go, "Oh, okay, that's why," you know. Yeah. You know, that's why they were dressed that way. They cleaned out the car, you know, that kind of shit, you know. Yeah. Does some of that, but it's not obnoxious. It's done tastefully. It's
not hard to follow.
Yeah, it was made to be easily understood and kind of unique in the way that it tells the story.
It's kind of like filling in a puzzle. Like you do the edges first, and then you fill in the middle pieces. It kind of felt like that to me. Yeah. Camp Guy said. Reminds me of another really good movie, Prisoners, with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. I haven't seen that, but I have heard several other people compare this to that also, so I'll probably get around to that. And then Ben says it's not clear what's happening for the first half of the movie, just like Barbarian. I thought that was very Lynchian. This does have kind of, maybe a slight David Lynch kind of vibe to it. It's not surreal, but some of the dream sequences actually kind of reminded me a little bit of some of the imagery from Inland Empire, and I'm wondering if that was deliberate. I imagine it probably was.
Yeah, but not knowing what's happening is pretty good. Sometimes it annoys me.
I liked that.
But the characters don't know what's happening either.
Yeah, they're trying to figure it out, and
so you're going along with them, going like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, like this is really fucking weird.
You know what I mean? And they're going like, "What the hell was that?" You know.
It's cool too because they kind of set it up. Like, the first scene is just kind of a black screen. Yeah. And it's just a little kid talking, as though a kid is telling, like, an urban legend about something that happened in her town.
It's the only thing I'm
like a couple of years ago.
That's the only thing I'm going to ding about the movie. It opens up with a narration, and it's a kid telling a story of what happened in his town, and he's doing it retroactively.
It was a girl.
It was a girl.
It was a little girl.
Doing it retroactively as if it's over already. That's as much as I could tell. I couldn't understand a word that.
Oh, I understood it. I understood it.
I couldn't understand her. Maybe it was the theater that we were in. It was.
Yeah, I didn't have any trouble.
Her voice just faded off into the background, and it was kind of sing-songy, and I couldn't hear it over the music. It just kind of got lost in the background. Maybe it was my hearing. I don't know, but I couldn't understand.
It might have been.
I couldn't understand a word the kid said.
I understood every word.
Yeah.
But yeah, she basically says, she kind of sets it up. You know, this is a true story. This happened in my town. I think she says 2 years ago. And she's like, all of the kids, as we said, there was one class, I think it was a 3rd grade class at the elementary school. And one night at 2:17 a.m., they all got out of bed and ran out their house and just like ran off into the yonder. And and she says, and they never came back. Yeah, and the cool thing about this was that I didn't watch like a more, I think I saw the teaser trailer for this, and very wisely, the teaser trailer didn't show much of anything. It just kind of had a lot of the imagery of those kids running in that creepy fucking way. Yeah. And that got people intrigued. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? Like with all these kids like running the street with their arms out like that. Yeah. And, you know, so they didn't give too much away, and I thought that was absolutely, but it was kind of like Barbarian, and if you haven't seen Barbarian, I reviewed it on my thing, but I don't think I did any spoilers because I said Barbarian is another movie, and this is another one where it's better if you don't know anything about what's going on, like before you see it.
We didn't know anything about what this movie's about. We knew it was a horror movie, but we didn't know anything about it. And you kind of want to go in blind. It's a lot better.
Yeah.
As it starts to unfold, I started to suspect what it was. I said, "Oh, I see. It's this is what it is." And she's like, "Yeah, maybe." And I go, "I think it's what it is." And
yeah, because at first you don't fucking know. You're like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah, right. It's not anything like super unique or hokey or anything like that. You go, oh, "Okay, I know what kind of monster this is." If that's what you want to put it, but I know what's happening.
What kind of antagonist?
Yeah. So I think probably now's the time. Probably if you don't want any spoilers, you want to see the movie just blind. I probably
would check out because I'm not going to spoil it. Really, exactly.
Yeah,
but
it's better if you just kind of don't know.
But it's better to go into it like not knowing anything because I didn't know anything. I had seen the teaser trailer with the kids running, and I just heard everybody talking about how good it was. So I was like, okay, let's go see that. But I didn't know anything about what it was about. And like I said, I think that was a really good marketing ploy. Yeah. And all the marketing material, like the description of the movie, all it says is that 17 kids from one class go missing, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. It doesn't tell you anything that happened, and that's just the setup. And then, like I said, it goes into this sort of chapters where it's following. So the first character you follow is the teacher, who is played by, that was the same chick. She was just in Wolfman. Yeah. I think she's in she was in Fantastic Four too.
Okay, so now this is like semi-spoilers, right?
Yeah.
All right, so if y'all don't want to know, you want to see it without any hints, check out. You can come back and watch this later. So if you're staying, we're going to continue talking about it. Right? It's not going to spoil the movie. You can still see it after what we tell you. We're not going to spoil everything, but I liked not knowing what it was.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you're just watching it being like, man, what the fuck could be happening? You know what I mean? Yeah. It was so weird. And like, it's a great setup because it just gets you like intrigued because like that. Yeah. What the fuck could that be? You know what I mean? So you're just kind of like involved in the mystery with everybody else. So the first chapter is following Justine, who is the teacher of the class. And like I said, everybody in her class disappeared except one kid, whose name is Alex. And so she gets interviewed by the police. Alex gets interviewed by the police. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. They're like, but everybody in town blames the teacher because they're like, well, there has to be some reason that it was all kids in your class and no other kids, like from any of the other classes. You know what I mean? So it's like, did you tell them something? Did you tell them all to run away? Are you up to something or whatever? And so everyone kind of goes on a little bit of a tirade like against her. So her name is Mud pretty much, and like the principal of her school, who is sympathetic to her but is like, look, all the families are freaking the fuck out and you better lay low for a while. So he puts her on like administrative leave, and obviously she's having a hard time with this, so she starts drinking quite heavily. And then she hooks up with what you're led to assume is her ex-boyfriend, whose name is Paul and who is also a cop, who tells her that him and his wife are on the outs, but you find out from his chapter that is not the case. That he just told her that so he could get laid. Yeah. So, everybody in this is like a flawed character. Yeah. Paul's kind of a piece of shit, but he's also kind of sympathetic. Yeah. Like you can see where he's coming from. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He's not a great cop, but he was kind of effective. He got himself in trouble.
Yeah.
But he kind of mitigated it. Turns out badly for him, though, if I remember correctly.
It does, yes.
Yeah, I don't think he survives it.
It turns out badly for pretty much everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the things that happened is the teacher, the parents are kind of blaming her, but the FBI and the local cops are like, we can't do anything to her, man. There's no,
Yeah, there's no evidence that she had anything to do with it.
One of the dudes, the Brolin guy, what's his name?
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. He writes, he's obsessed with her, and he's been having these weird dreams. He wrote the word witch on her car. He thinks she's a witch.
With red paint.
Yeah, red paint. Spoiler alert. Turns out that's what it was. There's a witch in town.
But it's not Justine.
What's that?
But it's not Justine.
It's not her. There's a witch in town, and she stole all the kids with using this fucking magic. Yeah. And it's wild. it's like folk horror.
Yeah.
She'd take some of your hair or have some of your possessions and wrap it around a thorn, like some kind of like rose thorns or something. I don't remember what kind of tree that was. And she'd cut herself, rub it through her hands, and rub your hair around it, and then she'd break it like that, over a bowl of water, and you would become one of her weapons.
Yeah.
Hence
why the movie is
kind of like demonic possession. That's what it looks like, but you're like a zombie, and real open to suggestions. And they show her magic powers and shit, and there's no explanation of how she got them.
You're led to assume from context clues that she's probably very old.
Yeah, you're not sure how old she is.
Because this is one of those kind of movies, too, where there's, like, a lot of little clues hidden in the background. Like, when they go back, like, the last chapter, which is from Alex's point of view, from the little kid, because that's when you finally see what exactly happened. Like, because he was the only kid that didn't disappear. And, so that's when everything, like, kind of comes together.
Yeah.
And when he's in the classroom before all the other kids disappear, like the day before, the teacher is giving a lecture about parasites, which is essentially what the witch is. She is like a parasitical.
Yeah.
Because she's come into town and she was dying.
Yeah.
And then she starts like taking people
to like better.
To like drain their life force, essentially. But she also has powers to like weaponize people. Like she can essentially take them over and make them do make them kill people or make
people.
Make them do like whatever.
Yeah. Some of them she can just have them walk around like a zombie and follow her. You know what I mean? And they kind of obey, but they're not really in there. It's like they're asleep or something.
Yeah.
It's a wild flick. It's pretty cool. I liked it. And man, I don't know if I want to spoil everything about it. It does kind of remind me in some ways of a King story, and the story I'm thinking of is Salem's Lot. It's just two people trying to fucking save the town. They know what it is.
Yeah.
But they found out by accident towards the end. They were able to stop it. Kind of like them, kind of like the two guys, the writer and the young teenage boy, finding out that there was a vampire.
Yeah.
That was taking over Salem's Lot, and they stop it. It's kind of like that. And it is kind of an alienating feeling that only a couple people know what's happening. Nobody's listening to them. They're trying to figure out where this witch is, and Brolin figures it out. He kind of comes up with a way to figure out where this witch lives.
Well, he didn't know where they were heading. I thought the implication, and I thought this was a pretty genius misdirection, actually, because the first chapter, which is from, Justine's the teacher's point of view, and then the next chapter is from Josh Brolin's character's point of view. His name's Archer, actually.
Archer, yeah.
And he's like the dad of one of the kids that went missing. And you see him kind of stalking her because he thinks she has something to do with it. But then he realizes he had a Ring camera on his front porch that recorded his kid, whose name is Matthew, running out. And he knows that some of the other parents have the same thing. And when he sees it, he's able to kind of triangulate the direction that they were running. But the direction that they were running, there was like a radio tower. Because remember how they showed like the radio tower over there? And I thought the first thing he was thinking was that it was some kind of weird, like they were attracted by the radio signal or something. There was some kind of weird 5G shit going on or something like that. I think they were trying to imply that he thought that at first. But then like after him and Justine, after they go through this whole thing and they kind of figure out, well, some weird shit is going on, after they see one of the possessed people, who it happens is her principal, is like coming after her. And then he's like, what the fuck is happening? And then they sort of join forces, even though they were enemies before. Yeah. And she's like, well, when she looks at his triangulation, she's like, that's the kid's house, the only kid that was left.
Yeah, but Archer...
She's like, so what's going on in there?
But don't you remember, though? Archer saw the witch in a dream. First.
So did Justine.
Yeah.
On the ceiling.
Yeah. So he knew there was a witch. I think it was just in his subconscious. And that's why he wrote witch on her fucking car.
It might have been, yeah.
And then And in that dream, I don't know if it was the same dream, he saw that house where they were.
Yeah.
With a big old fucking ghostly AR-15.
Like floating above it.
Over the
that
top.
That was a great image.
Yeah. And so he saw that house, though. And he'd
Yeah.
never seen it before. But he saw it in his mind.
I don't know if that was Alex's house or if it was his house, because I thought...
I don't think it was his house. It was where that
maybe,
witch was.
But in the dream...
That's why the weapon was over it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, because that was the house that had been boarded up. There had been
it was
papered up.
Yeah, it was all the walls.
So he saw where it was, and they also in there was the digital clock time inside that gun of the time in which all the kids it was
ran
in the
out
middle of the
house.
night that the kids ran off. So his subconscious mind, he knew that there was a witch at that location and that the witch got the kids. It's just that it didn't fully click. You don't realize till the end of the movie that he foresaw that.
I kind of wonder if, and I thought about this on the way home, but I don't think I mentioned it, that it's like when the witch arrived in town, I guess her power was like leaching out and like maybe giving other, because Justine had a nightmare too.
Yeah.
Like remember she had the nightmare about all the kids in the classroom and all their heads were down on the desk, and then Alex puts his face up and has like makeup on like Gladys has. She had that dream.
Well, remember
early
how
on.
the teacher was real empathetic. She cared about the kids.
Yeah.
And then Archer was really fucking bent up around his son. What my take was is that those two were slightly psychic.
Maybe so.
And the witch was super fucking psychic, but she was just but dark side stuff. And they detected her. They saw her.
Maybe so.
And they're Tony, like out of fucking The Shining. Tony shows me things. The one that tells you things. That's what it was. I think they detected her, and they were the ones that found her.
Yeah.
That saved the kids. That was my interpretation. Is that their psychic senses detected a powerful disturbance in the force, basically.
It could be. Or like I said, I guess they were just picking up.
Yeah, because that's why that's why those were the only two people that took action.
Yeah. Yeah, because the cops weren't really doing fuck all.
They were trying another way. They were trying to use. They tried to use a standard police procedure. These two used instinct.
Yeah.
And their psychic abilities, but latent psychic abilities. They felt their way to it. But he presaged it though, and so did she.
Yeah. Yeah, because they both saw.
Yeah. Nobody else saw that.
They all saw that.
The cops didn't see that.
Although I will say we got another super chat, Metalcore 404, which I'm assuming is Stu. Yo, what's up, bitches? How are y'all? We're good. How are you doing? Thank you very much. So, but if you'll remember, James the crackhead, he saw her in the woods.
Yeah.
And I was watching a video.
I don't think he saw it with his eyes.
I was watching a video with Easter eggs explained. Yeah. And they said their theory was that the reason that James saw her in the woods was because he had stolen shit from that house.
Maybe.
Because he broke in.
So he made some kind of, almost kind of like a
like it was like a contagion.
Like a quantum entanglement or a psychic link, like psychometry. He had taken things from the house.
Yeah.
So he was able to pick up vibes. He saw it, he had a vision of her. In the forest. I don't think she was there though.
And this person that did this video, I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, that's a good one. I picked that.
But they also pointed out that whenever you see the witch before you see her in real life, like when James sees her in the woods, she's planted in the ground. And also they said when Justine sees her on the ceiling, she's also kind of half planted. You
coming
only
in
see
out of it. Yep.
and they think they're tying that back to that tree where she was breaking off the branches. You know what I mean? Like she's like growing out of Yeah. And like I said, I thought the implication was, one, that she wasn't necessarily related to anyone in Alex's family. Because
maybe she suggested that to those kids, to the parents.
Because, well, if you said, the parents, before they got put under the spell...
Yeah.
They said, we haven't seen her in 15 years, and she looks really bad because she was supposedly dying of cancer. And she wasn't the mom's sister. She was the mom's sister. So she was the kid's... She was a great aunt.
So she might have found somebody she can assume that identity.
Right. So it's like, so she might not even, we don't even know. And she might, I mean, she might have been related to them like a long time ago, but I thought the implication was that she was really old, because if you remember when she went in to the principal's office to talk to Marcus, the principal, she said that the parents had consumption.
Oh, yeah. And they got,
and he's like, what? I'm not sure. He's like, what is that? Like, is that tuberculosis or something? You know what I mean?
1800s, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that she used that word, I thought was like the implication that she was old.
That she was not from that time, but moved through that time.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that's why that she used that.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. So she might be centuries old.
That's what I was assuming. Yeah. And it's like, and like I said, she's parasitical, so it's like she just moves from place to place.
Yeah.
Because at one point, like after they were gonna get busted, like she said to Alex, "Pack your shit, we're gonna get out of here." Yeah. Like she was gonna take the kid with her.
Take the kid.
But they were just gonna move on somewhere else and like drain someone else, some other town's
make him
life
a
force.
thrall or something. And maybe she doesn't. If she's being fed the way she was, she may not age. So she might keep boys and let them grow up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if she keeps like sucking people's life forces, like she might actually get younger and younger.
Yeah, she might get younger and younger.
Because she did look real when she first got there. She was all like bent over and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then like she still looks fucked up like the whole movie because of that crazy fucking makeup and everything. She doesn't always have that on though, because sometimes she doesn't have makeup, like when she's in the house talking to Alex and stuff.
She put makeup on to try to look more normal, but it made her look fucking crazy.
But it made her look like that horrifying scene from Inland Empire. That's what it reminded me of. Is what I was thinking of. And I don't know, maybe Zach Cregger would.
I'd have to see it again, but you're right. There was a lot of stuff in there. It could be, like I said, they were having psychic visions of her, and in the visions, she's connected with these trees. And growing out of things.
Yeah.
Maybe because she is as old as a tree or older than a tree, or that she grows out of things. That she's not a normal person. She feeds life force and she grows. Something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
She's more like a nature spirit type.
Yeah. Thing. Yes. Ben says, no, they weren't related. The parents said they didn't really know her, just an alleged distant relative.
Yeah, okay.
See, I thought that they said that was the wife's mom's aunt, and that they hadn't claimed, and they said, well, I haven't seen her in 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, so this could just be a totally different person that just took over the identity.
Yeah, she might have had a feeling, or it might have just been that she cast a spell on them
to make
them believe
that
she was that aunt.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Is that I was like, I don't think that bitch is related to them.
Off of them. Yeah.
And she probably just goes from town to town doing that.
Right? Yeah.
Like whenever she drains the whole town, because that's eventually what she would do, I guess. But I'm just like, I guess kids are the best because, that's who she wanted the most. Ben said that soil or salt protective lines she was making against the thralls was like something from voodoo. Yeah, but they do that in witchcraft too. That's a pretty common. Salt is a pretty common protective barrier kind of thing. But yeah, I really liked that.
It's a good witch. It's a good witch character.
Like I said, you don't see a lot of like old school witch stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like an old school witch.
Yeah. She's not dressed like one. She dresses like something out of the damn 70s or something, or the 60s sometimes. So she's been around a long time and just weird mix and match shit that doesn't really looks just kind of fucking goofy. But she's trying to look normal. It's weird. Then sometimes she's doing her magic. She's kind of semi-nude. She doesn't have any makeup or a wig on or anything, and she's mostly bald with big long braids coming out here and there. And yeah, she's weird looking.
Yeah, they did. I mean, she's super unsettling. And like I said, some of the imagery in this. Oh, I was gonna say too, another cool thing that I really liked about this, although the theater that we saw it in, you could hear the movie across the hall a little bit, which kind of sucked. Because this movie has like a lot of silence. There's like scenes where there's no score, there's no talking, there's no nothing. Like especially like really creepy scenes when it's just like really really quiet. Yeah. And so it's kind of annoying that you can kind of hear the movie from from across the hall.
I got the vibe that she was going to kill the parrots.
Yeah, eventually.
And I got the vibe she was kind of like slightly creeping on the little boy. She liked him. But she was either going to make him a slave or eventually eat him or something. But I think she liked him, I think.
Ben said, do you think that little tree she had in the pot was a hawthorn bush? I'm not really sure. I was watching this other thing that was trying to figure it out, and they said maybe it was a blackthorn, or maybe it was a holly tree, although that's usually for good magic. Yeah. But the leaves don't look like blackthorn. But it might not be like a real... I mean, the branches looked like blackthorn, but the leaves didn't.
What was weird is she was tearing the house up.
Yeah.
No explanation why. Just when you go where she was, all the fucking lamps would be laying over and shouldn't be all fucked up. Like she was doing something in there. I don't know why she was destroying the house. Didn't make any sense. Well, maybe she was transforming or fucking flying around inside the room, knocking things over.
Yeah, you never know what she was up to in there.
Creepy old lady.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, everybody in this was good, and she was fucking creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
And they had just some really great images, and there's not like a lot of jump scares. There's a couple, but they're actually really well done. I think most of the shit in here is just like really just unsettling kind of imagery, you know? Like I said, it's kind of like, it did kind of remind me of Inland Empire a little bit, just like the face imagery.
What I liked about it is that she could sit there and just smile at a little boy's face and get the parents to hurt themselves and shit like that, you know, using them as hostages. And she goes, I can do anything I want to them. I can even make them eat each other.
Yeah.
And fucking, you know, and she's just looking at the boy, she's putting the screws to him to try to basically she's holding the parents hostage. You know, you do what I say, or I'll kill your parents. I'll make them eat each other.
And you gotta watch.
What's funny is that to her, it's like normal. She's done it before, and this is just like the kid's terrified, but the witch is just, this is just what I do.
And the kids can't tell anybody.
Can't tell you tell anybody like this.
Because she says you can't tell anybody or I'll know.
Yeah.
And I think she would know.
I think she would know, yeah.
So he's just
using
like...
magic and stuff.
Yeah, so he can't tell his teacher and all this other kind of stuff. Even though she keeps, like, the teacher is worried about him and she keeps, like, following him even though the principal told her not to do that. Because it's a little unprofessional, which it is. But, you know...
She knew exactly what she was doing with people.
She can't get him to talk to her.
She had done all this before. She was well trained, or she was well experienced in what she was doing. You know, she's fucking talking to the principal, and she doesn't ask for a glass. She talks her way into his house, and she goes, "Oh, I need some water." And they went to go, "I'll get you a glass." She goes, "I need a bowl."
And they're like,
a bowl, yeah, a bowl of water.
And they're like,
strange,
what?
peculiar. They have things. Okay, I'll get you a bowl of water.
Whatever.
She needed the bowl to fucking cast this fucking spell. Yeah. Bowl of water is what she was.
Yeah.
So she was very. She had done this all before. Because she was like a well-oiled machine, if you hadn't noticed.
Yeah. So it was
kind of routine for her, I think.
Yeah, like I said, she's probably been doing this for centuries.
Yeah.
That was the implication I got. I have heard that, because Zach Cregger has expressed interest in making another film in this universe.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's going to be like what happened subsequently, or if it's going to be like a Gladys prequel or whatever. I don't know if it'll ever get made or anything like that, but I don't know. There was just something that I just really, really liked this one. And it's long, like it's 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that, but it did not seem long at all. Yeah. Like there's always something going on. I didn't think it was slow. I didn't think it was, I mean, because like I said, as soon as you find out, like in the first few minutes of the movie, that these 17 kids have disappeared and they kind of show it happening and all this other kind of stuff, you're hooked. You're just like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? And so you just kind of keep watching it. And then like this kind of fractured narrative with all of these characters, you know, all kind of filling in each piece of the puzzle until like you figure out what's going on at the end. And like I said, I thought it was really cool because I thought it was going to be like some kind of weird government experiment kind of fucking shit or something like that. I don't know, you know what I mean?
First I thought it was going to be like some kind of aliens.
Yeah, like, but I didn't think it was aliens necessarily, but I thought it was going to be like some kind of Stranger Things, secret psychic government program or some shit like that, but it's not that. So I like that they went like old school with it, because it would have been like really easy to do that. You know,
I thought it might have been some kind of technology. I was thinking alien technology. So,
yeah.
But no. Ancient technology, witchcraft.
Ben says, you'd think after all that time she'd know to bring her own damn bowl.
Well, I don't know how she got there. I think she walked there, didn't she?
Here's the thing. I thought she said she walked there.
She might have flown.
But then, like, at the end, like, she got in a car.
Yeah.
Now, was that their car? And she just took it?
It might have been their car.
Or did she drive there and she lied and said she walked there? Just so she could say, oh, I'm so worn out. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe she flew there in a fucking broom. You know what I mean?
She might have flown.
You don't know.
They never showed her fly.
No. They didn't show her doing anything that, like, a person couldn't do.
Right, yeah.
You know? Which, like I said, I thought was kind of cool because it kept it sort of grounded.
Well, to fit the witch lore, they sometimes are shown riding broomsticks flying. That's a stereotypical one. But other sources just say they fly.
Yeah. Like, they don't need a broom.
Yeah, Julian Sands and shit from fucking...
from Warlock.
Warlock. He just flew.
Yeah, he didn't need a broom.
And did he actually fly, or did he just sail across the ground? No, he flew a little bit.
No, he flew, yeah.
Yeah, he'd go like... He becomes zero gravity.
Yeah, he could fly.
Yeah.
And he wasn't riding on anything.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, Klaus said you went to see this movie yesterday. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I can
enjoyed it.
see why this has, I think Rotten Tomatoes score and all of that stuff is like 98%. And like I said, it made a fuck ton of money.
Nothing wrong with that movie.
It's made a fuck ton of money.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that movie.
It's just everything about it. I was watching the Sinister Cinema review. I think they're in Florida too, actually. And they loved this movie. Yeah. He said it's his favorite movie of the year so far.
Yeah.
He said it's like a perfect movie. It's perfectly constructed. It's just everything about it. He's like, there's nothing about it that bothered me. It was like nothing at all.
Yeah.
It's just
nothing
like
took me out of it.
Yeah, like I said, I got real invested. You just get real invested in this fucking mystery of what happened to these damn kids. And, you know, and like I said, and all the characters are really engaging. They're all really... They're not necessarily likable. I guess
they're
they
like
kind of are.
You would know.
But they're like regular people. Like, they're relatable. You know what I mean? You can relate to all the shit they're doing, even when they're doing kind of underhanded, sketchy shit. Like I said, especially that cop. But like I said, he was kind of a piece of shit, but somebody pointed out, and I didn't realize this, but somebody pointed out in the comments of one of the videos, they said, you realize that Paul actually slept with Justine after he got stuck with that kid's needle.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing that he might have hepatitis or some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, wow, what a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, bad enough he's cheating on his wife, like, and telling Justine, it's like, oh, me and my wife are broken up right now. But it's like, then it's like, oh, also I gave you a disease that I got from some crackhead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, he didn't know if he got it.
It is very rare
Yeah.
to get anything from that, but, I mean, it's still possible, though.
Do you have AIDS? And he's like, huh? What? No.
He's like, AIDS? Do you have AIDS?
Not that I know
Hepatitis?
of.
And he's like, not that I know of. He's like, yeah, great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the dude that played the crackhead kind of, in some ways, kind of stole the show.
There's a whole chapter from his
He's a real piece
point
of
view.
shit.
Yeah.
He's a real piece of shit.
But he's still kind of likable.
You kind of like him.
He's still kind of likable, though.
Well, he's just a dumb in a bad. He's a dumb dude in a bad situation who's just addicted to shit. And
I loved the scene of him.
She's stealing stuff.
I love the scene of him just like walking down the street talking to him. I presume a relative, like trying to get. Yeah, I think it was his mom.
Trying to get money out of his mom.
Like trying to get his money, and while he's walking, he's trying all the car doors.
Setting up the car doors. One of them's finally
just like
open,
casual.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so funny because it was just like so. It was just such a real moment. And it's like they don't make a big deal of it. He's just kind of like, that's just what he does. Like every time he passes a car, he checks to see if it's unlocked so he can steal shit out of the car.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just thought that was so funny. That made me laugh. But yeah, like that, like I said, it's not a comedy, but there's like little moments like that. Mostly in like the kind of reactions. Like I loved when Josh Brolin had that dream. And then like he wakes up like in his son's bed after that fucked up dream. And he just like gets up against the wall and he's just like, what the fuck? Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah.
Well, scared.
That's pretty much what how you would react. And everybody laughed because that's exactly how you would react if you had a fucked up dream like that. Because, that was a pretty messed up dream.
I think it was a psychic dream.
I'm still trying to think. Now I have to see the movie again because I thought, and I admit, because wasn't Alex's house was brick
Pretty sure that was
with a white door. I thought.
Pretty sure that was the house.
Because
was the house where the witch was.
I thought that when he was dreaming, like he saw in his dream, he saw his kid run out the house just like he saw on the Ring camera, and then he saw him run, and then he followed him. But I thought he ran back into his own house.
I think he followed him to the house where the. I think he followed
Maybe,
him to the house
but
where his son went.
Now I gotta watch that again.
And he saw the house, and it was that same house, and above it, floating in the sky like a black triangle UFO, was a big outline. And they did it fucking great because it was like you could barely see it in the sky at first, but then it slowly started to fade in. The outline of an M4 carbine without any optics on it. It just had a fixed rear sight on the fucking upper rail, on the upper receiver rail. And I was going, that's M4. And then on the front handguard, near where the bayonet lug is, there was the digital clock numbers, and it was the time at which the boys and his son had run outside the house. All the kids ran outside the house.
Yeah.
And so it was a weapon.
Yeah.
The time, the weapon, and the location. They were in that house. But he didn't know where that house was.
Yeah. It was her that knew where, because she had followed him home.
He figured out
that kid.
He triangulated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking.
And then she said that's where Alex.
He pointed. He goes, "It's here," and he goes, "No, I know that house." And it was the kid's house. And that was the house that he saw in his dream. I'm pretty sure it was the same house. I don't think he saw his own house. I think he saw the house where his son was, where the witch was.
Yeah. Well, the reason
just didn't know where that was.
The reason I thought that it was his house, that he left his house and then went back into his house, is because when he goes into that other house, it's his house, and he goes up into his kid's room, and his kid's laying there in the bed. But he knows his kid isn't there because he's talking to him. Even though he's there, he's talking to him like, "Where are you?"
Well, it was like a psychic dream. He saw his son in that house.
Yeah.
All right. In his mind, it was in the bedroom. That's not where he was. He was in that house, though, but he wasn't in the bedroom. That's what unless I have it wrong. At the time I was watching the movie, I thought it was the house that the boy went into, and it looked like the house that the teacher saw. That the windows were papered up.
Yeah.
I thought it was that house.
Maybe, but like I said,
the interior wasn't that house.
I think there's probably screenshots of that.
Yeah, I'd have to see it. I had to see it again just to be sure. But when I was watching the movie, that's what I thought I was seeing.
Yeah.
I don't think that was Archer's house. I thought it was the witch's house. Remember, he's going, "Answer me, ask me." And the boy couldn't answer.
Yeah, like where are you?
Yeah, where is this?
That was pretty freaky.
Yeah.
Also, I was really freaked out. This kind of shit always freaks me out. This is like David Lynch always does it.
He couldn't answer because in real life he couldn't answer.
Yeah, he couldn't
They were
answer
basically like sleepwalking.
Well, and that's why Justine's dream, when she dreamed, all the kids were in the classroom, but they all had their heads down, except for the one that was left.
Yeah, when she puts you under some of these spells, you're just basically sleepwalking. You can't talk.
But yeah, the one scene where Josh Brolin like wakes up from a dream, but then like he looks down in the bed and he's still there.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, that freaked me out really bad. I don't know why that kind of shit freaks me out, but
I interpreted.
I was like, oh, creepy.
I interpreted that as he was having an out of body experience.
Yeah.
Okay, which I've done that. You know.
Yeah.
Done that in front of people. You see yourself, but it's a weird. It's. So he was having an out-of-body experience, a psychic dream. Psychic dreams are kind of an out-of-body experience mixed in with dream material. It's like lucid dreaming, the mixture of dream and reality and what do you call it? It's like a mixture of dream and premonition at the same time. It's something Tony's showing you, like out of The Shining. That's how I interpreted it. I had to see it again.
Yeah.
So other people have seen the movie, so they might be able to back me up. That's how I remembered it, or that's how I understood it at the time I was seeing it.
Ben said maybe the rifle symbolized shooters triangulating their fire. Could be.
No.
Although I've also
he
seen...
said because they turned the people into weapons.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most obvious.
It was a cache. It was a weapons house.
Yeah. Because that's where she was keeping everybody, and she could turn them into weapons.
She could turn them into heat-seeking missiles, basically.
Yeah, and basically he even says that, like, he figures it out toward the end. He's like, they're like heat-seeking missiles. Like, they get sent after a target.
Yep.
And that's who they go after. But yeah, I've also seen it like that maybe it's a metaphor for like school shootings and stuff like that because 17 kids in one class and all that other kind of stuff. So I get that too.
They're reading into it.
But
it just meant weapons house.
Well, but that's the most obvious thing.
Yeah.
Jacob says, "What do you think about the French movie Martyrs?" Ooh, I loved it, but never gonna watch it ever again because it's very upsetting.
I didn't see it.
I actually did a review. Yeah, we didn't do a review of it together, but I did a review of it like a while back. Jacob says she implemented missiles in the kid's body. No. It's metaphorical. There were metaphorical heat-seeking missiles.
If she wanted
magical
you dead,
mind control.
If she had some of your hair, she could wrap it around a stick and send one of those possessed persons that she has or enthralled person, and they would just run in a straight line to wherever you were, even if that person didn't know, even if she didn't know where you were.
Yeah.
Even if there was no way that enthralled person could know where you were, it just spiritually it would know where you were.
Yeah,
and run in a straight line, straight as it could, to go right at you, and it would attack you and try to beat you to death and eat you, that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because at first, when you first kind of see before you know what's going on, Justine gets attacked by her principal.
Yeah.
And he's coming running at her like the way the kids ran, and his eyes are all bugged out, and he's got fucking blood all over his face, and he looks like a fucking crazy person.
He looks like a zombie kind
of. And then and so he starts fighting with him. Tom's like, "See a zombie?" And I'm just like, I don't think that's what's going on.
Kind of like a zombie.
But kind of. But
they were alive though.
But they were still alive.
Yeah.
They were just like mind controlled.
Yeah. And they had no regard for their own safety. They'd run right through traffic. They didn't give a shit. They got killed that way.
Well, he certainly.
They would just go in a straight line, even if they just go right through. If a train was going, they'd just run through the train, probably.
Yeah, probably.
They were dumb. They weren't intelligent.
Yeah, they were just mindless.
Mindless, yeah.
Weapons. They weren't people anymore.
Yeah.
Ben also said, "I wonder how much Campbell's Soup paid for product placement." Right? Because that kid was always going. Because that's all he knew how to make. Like he could open the can and like pour it in. He had to feed all the people. So it's like, yeah. I wanted Campbell's should do like a tie-in with that. That'd be pretty fucking funny. Also, Ben said, the witches in the Sleepy Hollow movie were archers. That's right, they were, weren't they? Huh. Wonder is that? That was probably just a coincidence, I think, though. But yeah, I was like actually really. I mean, I knew this was gonna be good because anytime you see a horror movie with almost universal acclaim, it's almost always good. Like I don't think I've ever, well, I don't know if I've ever seen one that I was just like, oh, that was terrible. I don't know what the fuck everyone's talking about. Most of the time, I at least think it's like a 7 or 8, and sometimes I think it's like really good. But because horror fans are picky, and they can be a little prickly and bitchy and shit like that. So if there's a horror movie that doesn't have anything in it that is pissing anyone off, that's kind of a big deal. Now I want you to see Barbarian. I'm just really interested.
Yeah, I'll see it.
It's not exactly like this.
I'll probably like it.
It's similar, but not really. Like it's hard to explain. But like I said, I thought the only reason I thought you wouldn't like Barbarian is because it's structured kind of like this one, where it's like the first half of the movie you're following this one, then all of a sudden it takes like a hard cut and you're following some completely different character and you know who the fuck it is.
Yeah. And
it takes a long time for it to like circle back around until you know what's going on. And I thought that would make you mad. But if you followed this one is a lot more complicated because it's following 6 characters. That one's basically just following like 2 sets of characters. Well, kind of 3. But this one's not confusing at all. Like I said, and the structure is very easy to figure out. Like, you just jump from one chapter to another and it's just all from other perspectives. And sometimes you see the same or a little bit of the same incident or the same event, just from a different person's perspective, but they don't repeat a lot of stuff. Like, so it's not repetitive or anything, because they usually, if they get up to a point where it's like, oh, you know what happened from this point, they usually cut to something else. So, like, they don't show, like, the same shit over and over.
So, what about you? But I think we shut it down, actually.
Yeah, we probably can.
Yeah, I give it 2 thumbs up, man. I mean,
yeah, I really liked this.
Yeah, it'd be worth it to go support the movie. I would.
Yeah, I mean, it's making...
Because you'll see more like this.
A shit ton of money. Yeah, and like I said, that's good. And I'm so glad that, like, Barbarian did well, and I'm so glad that this one is doing well, because I'm like, yes, make more like this, please.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, just goes to show, it doesn't have to be, like, a big fucking tentpole movie that you spent $300 million on. You could just spend under $40 million, and this made a huge, huge profit.
Just on story and acting alone.
And it seems like it's almost universal acclaim. Like, all the critics liked it. Everybody's liking it. So,
yeah, good movie.
I know there's going to be a few out there who's like, no, I didn't really get it. You know what I mean? But it's just kind of like, it's not super deep, but there's, like, it's easy to follow. But there's a lot of little clues in there that it's kind of one of those movies where it's kind of fun to go back and watch it again and be like, that was what, okay.
Yeah.
So there's already, like, a bunch of Easter egg videos about this.
If it stands up to repeated viewings, it's a good movie. And I guarantee you, if I went back and watched it again, I'd pick up some shit. I'd pick up on some shit that I didn't understand at the time, or
because I didn't pick up on that whole why the crackhead saw the witch in the forest until somebody pointed out on a video. Well, he stole shit from that house.
Yeah.
And then right after that,
like
he saw her like out by his tent or whatever.
He became entangled with her somehow, and she fucking sent him a message.
And I was like, oh, duh, okay, that makes sense.
She had the ability to track him.
Yeah.
She wasn't there though.
No.
It was the psychic force of her.
Yeah, he was just seeing a vision.
Like, motherfucker, I saw you. She was waving.
Yeah. She's fucking... Amy Madigan is so fucking good at this.
Yeah.
She's, She's a great, fun character. Now I'm wondering how many people... I was telling... I asked Tom on the way home. I said, gee, I wonder how many people are going to dress up like Gladys for Halloween this year.
Yeah.
Bet it's going to be a lot. That'd be a fun costume to do, actually.
Yeah.
If you could do it right. I don't know where you get that outfit from. You know what I mean? Maybe Spirit Halloween has got one.
The yellow tennis shoes.
Yeah, those yellow running shoes. Those are crazy. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. This is still, I mean, as of yesterday, it was still in the theater. So if you want to go see it, run out and go see it. Like I said, support good movies like this, and I also want to see Bring Her Back. I noticed that the rental has gone down to $4.99, so I might be watching that soon. And we still have to review Murder in a Blue World, too, because I told you guys we were going to do that, the unofficial sequel to Clockwork Orange. So that's free on YouTube. We might do that next week. We'll see how things work out. Hopefully you guys can join us for the Wednesday night show, where we're going to be talking about, I'm sure, I think Zach might have recommended this, so he'll be very, very happy, but we're going to be doing Marilyn Monroe conspiracies. So that should be that won by like a very large margin in the poll this week. So yes, that's what we're going to be doing on Wednesday night. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for your super chats. And we will see you guys again on Wednesday night. Good night.